Okay, here she is. Three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine,
Hi,
10.
okay?
Come on, Steph.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah. Hey, how are you?
Oh, thank
Oh my God,
you.
I love this
I
earring.
got them from my
Yeah,
director,
what are those?
actually.
Where did you
She's
get
got her
them?
lovely own earring brand, so I actually got them from her. I had to have them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
It matches your. Could you stand
So
up and
I'm
show
just
us your
doing a
dress?
little.
What you're wearing, please? Ooh, turn around. Nice. Ooh, I'm loving it. So I'm so happy that you've agreed to do this little Instagram live chat with me because I've always wanted to interview you. And
I did.
I
Yeah,
know you participated in this
I did.
Earth
Yeah.
last year, and you made the top 20. And actually, I did. Yeah, I did. So I did see the pageant, and I was a bit surprised
Oh,
that you
thank
didn't make
you.
it at least the top 10. So it's like what is wrong with these people? I mean, this girl is stunning, and I just don't understand. So in a way, I was sort of like lost. But now I'm so happy that you're back in pageantry and that you're representing England in the upcoming Miss Grand International 2020. Now, we don't know, pageant fans, where the pageant is going to be
We
held.
still have
Do you
no
have
idea.
any
We are
idea where
waiting
it's going
for
to
an
be held?
official confirmation from Miss Grand International. Obviously, we are watching other countries being crowned at the moment, but I do believe at the moment we haven't got enough girls crowned from around the world, obviously due to COVID. And it's really difficult at this moment, because in England we've now gone back to a 6-person limit ban. So I mean, not even pageants can happen here anymore. So I mean, it's either going to have to be like a virtual pageant like Miss Earth is doing this year. Obviously, I don't think Grand would ever do that, or just postpone it. So, but if they postpone it, I mean, it gives us a lot more time to prepare, which would be really nice. Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready to compete in October.
Are you saying you're not prepared now?
But I'm saying like we could just get bigger and better, if you know.
Wonderful. Now, to those people who have never heard of you or who know very little of you, would you like
so
to
my
take
name's
this
Stephanie
opportunity
Wyatt.
to
I am
talk a little about
21
yourself?
years of age, and obviously I'm representing England in the Miss Grand competition this year. I have a Bachelor of Honours Law degree, and I'm starting to go into medical as well. So I'm going to be studying medical from October onwards. I've been competing in pageants since I was 16. I've been doing local pageants, and then obviously I had the lucky opportunity to go to Miss Earth last year and place in the top 20. And this year I have the honour again to represent my beautiful country, England, in the Miss Grand competition. And let's just say Europe really wants a golden crown this year.
Well, how did you get interested
actually,
in
when I was
pageants?
younger, I mean, everyone always watches pageants, and as a little girl, you look and you're like, wow, that is amazing. And I never did that when I was younger. When I was younger, I was mostly traveling the world doing a lot of humanitarian work with my mum. She's from Brazil, so we worked a lot in the favelas of Brazil. So we did a lot of stuff like that. So I never really had the time to. And then when I turned 16, there was a local pageant, and it was very like eco-friendly pageant, and I was like, yes, I've got to be involved in this. And then from there you just get the pageant bug, and you're like, I want to do another one, I want to do another one, and then here I am today.
Well, the amazing thing about pageantry, especially for women, is that there's so many pageants for different age groups. So you can be 75 years old and still compete in a pageant for senior citizens and stuff, which I think is amazing. Yeah, it's brilliant.
I actually live down in Bournemouth,
so
so that's literally on the bottom of the country. So we're right by the seaside. That's why I have so many pictures at the beach.
Oh, you must.
Yes, I do.
You must know my friend Jody Arabella, because she lives in Bournemouth.
That's beautiful.
And I visited Bournemouth. She took me there to her town. It's gorgeous. This was during when Miss World took place in London in November 2011.
This is one of the best places in England.
So yeah.
I'm not even being biased.
And you
Yeah,
have actually, I have to
it's
say, the
lovely.
beach is beautiful. Is beautiful, yeah. And although I never had a
Oh, you
chance
should go.
to try local cuisine.
Yeah,
Now, okay, so
yeah.
you're studying to be a lawyer and to be a doctor. Is that it? Is there a specific
So I
specialty or
actually, well, I did my
field
law
in
degree in
medicine that you're
criminal.
interested in?
However, I am turning that into an environmental. I want to go into the environmental sector of that because that's always been a big passion of mine anyway. And medical, I'm just starting off. I'm doing like a nurse's course. I'm just starting off. You know, it's something that I've decided very recently within like the past couple of weeks. But, you know, once I finish one degree, I'm like, oh, I want to do something else. You know, like my brain needs to keep active. So yeah, I just thought that's the only other thing that really interests me at the moment, study wise. So I just thought I'd go for it. So I'm just doing a general nurses course, and then once I finish that, I'll see where that takes me.
Hmm. Right. Now,
So we
how is
have
England
had
coping
a
with
lot
the
of deaths,
pandemic?
unfortunately. I think that we were quite late to respond to
Oh,
COVID, in my opinion. However, we did relax the rules a little bit, and we were getting a lot better. But now we're starting to close back up. I mean, restaurants, pubs, all that sort of stuff is closing again. And we will be going into curfews as well. So we'll be having a 10 p.m. curfew. um, but yeah, it's really difficult to say. I mean, we are doing our best here, and you know, some of the cities have closed down themselves. So you know, we're coping as well as we can, but it's really hit England very hard.
mhm. And you can't. I mean, like here in America where I live, you know, the laws actually depend on the state where you live. I mean,
Yeah.
it's more, some states are more lax than others, but I think eventually it's just common sense. You know, wear a
Mm,
mask if you enter a store
yeah.
or any business. You know, just don't
Mm,
complain. Get your stuff, pay for it, and leave. And then you can take off the
I
mask. You know,
agree.
these are just simple rules that we need to abide by. And there's so many, you know, there's just so many things that we don't know about the pandemic. Now, if the vaccine were
Mm. See,
available
there's a lot of
tomorrow, would you take it?
skeptical opinions about this, you know, about it being a tracking device and all that. I think I would. I have a 76-year-old father that, you know, I need to look after. For me, he's my top priority at the moment. You know, I've been looking after him since I was 12 years old. And he does have some serious health issues as well. So for me, I would have to do it, you know, like I think it's a necessity. I think all the tracking opinions and you know, it's just another vaccine. I mean, we have it for flu virus and all that. So it's just another vaccine. I wouldn't be scared of it. I mean,
Yeah.
people want to help. I don't think people want to make things worse at the moment.
So do you think that it should be mandatory that
I think it
everybody
should
should be
be your
forced
own
to take the
preference.
vaccine,
I don't think it should be
whether they like it or
mandatory
not?
because, you know, some people, well, from when I was at school, some people are totally scared of vaccines. I mean, when we had vaccine days in schools, people were fainting and like people get really like serious you know, like health issues about going, you know, it's scary. It is a scary thing, especially with COVID and the unknown. So I do think it should just be a personal choice. You know, the government should say, look,
Right.
the vaccines are available. If you want to do it, then you can. If you don't, then make sure you're taking these, you know, social distancing rules and you're making sure that you're staying safe in order to protect others as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it falls down within the territory of
Yeah,
individual rights. I mean, like my body, my choice. So if I have a headache, it's up to me to take a headache pill, an aspirin, or I can just lie down in
exactly.
bed and just relax, and eventually it'll go away. So it is a matter of choice, you know. So anyway, now as England's representative to Miss Grand International, why do you think that you are
I
the
think that
best
I'm the best
candidate
candidate for
for
this
this title?
title because since age 5, I have been exposed to the harsh reality of suffering across the world. So since age 5, I've worked in the favelas of South America. I've worked in Paris on the clothing crisis. And in 2017, I set up my own project where we wanted to eradicate period poverty in Kenya. So I worked with my local community. We all donated fabrics and we made them into reusable sanitary towels to enable the girls of Kenya to go to school. And this year, I'm so happy to announce that I am launching my preventative protection program, and that is for sufferers of violence, because obviously 1.6 million people die a year of violence-related crimes. And I thought, oh my God, like, people don't recognize violence as a serious health issue. And if we can get people to recognize it as a health issue, then we can find ways to stop violence happening, or to spot it earlier, that we can put measures in place to stop it. So, I mean, for me, it's definitely because of my past as a humanitarian that I feel like I would be the best person for the role.
Mm-hmm. How is the problem of domestic violence and
is it relevant
abuse
in
against
England?
women rampant in England?
Yeah, I mean, all over the world
Is
isn't
it
it, really?
a serious
I mean,
problem?
it's so hard to spot as well, because it's behind closed doors. And if we can raise the awareness for women, especially, that, you know, the help is out there, and one day we will have a consistent quality of life worldwide. But it's just finding the measures to put in place to stop that first. And that's what my program actually looks at doing. So we look at the type of violence, and we evaluate why it's happening or how we can stop it. And then we find ways that work and implement them. So, I mean, with my legal background, if that's something like a new law that would come in, I mean, then we'd fight for that, because, you know, it's something that needs to be addressed. It's so hard to spot a lot of the time. And if we can work on ways for them women to get help, you know, discretionally, it would be so good.
You know what? I think Miss
Mm-hmm.
Grand International has a wonderful purpose. You know, to stop the war and violence. But some critics would say that it's not realistic to be able to stop completely the war and violence going on in the world. Now, if the pageant simply focuses on the issues and problems regarding women and young girls, maybe they could attract far more serious, followers. And I think the issue of what do you think of the problem, let's say, of human trafficking? Because, you know, I know that there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
women, young women and girls that are being trafficked into certain countries, and they're being exploited, abused, raped, and sometimes murdered. What do you think
Well, for
would
me,
help
you know,
diminish
women, they
that
are
problem?
mothers, they are sisters, they are friends of the community, and they are really what builds people, especially in times of war. They are definitely someone that will hold together families. They will make sure everyone's doing well. So, I mean, we need to look after our women. We need to spot the signs of exploitation. You know, if we can recognize it early and educate people why it's happening, where it's happening, then we can get people involved. You know, we can get help teams involved. We can,
Right.
you know, even the army, we can get involved to go in there and make sure, you know, that we pull these women out of this,
Yeah.
because it is such a serious issue. And like I said, it's so hard to spot a lot of the time. But that's what my program is about. You know, we're about recognizing them signs, and then obviously eradicating any sort of violence, especially exploitation as well. It's horrible.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. And I think it's also essential that we adults, or anybody in the power of authority should teach young
Definitely.
boys, how to respect and how to treat women correctly. And I think that's a lot of these issues involving rape, sexual assault, and sexual harassment are basically caused by the way men are raised, or sometimes the lack of good
Definitely.
parenting.
And
So I
what
think
I've
that's
noticed
also
as well,
another
I've done a lot of
factor
studying with
that we
the World Health Organization, and a lot of the statistics show that it is from their childhood. So, I mean, I do a lot of programs in school. I go into schools and I teach them to tree plant, and I teach them, you know, eco alternatives, and they really love it. And if you can get people in there, I mean, I watched this program on TikTok the other day, and the mum was teaching her child, she was tickling him, and she was saying, when you say stop, I will stop. So I think like things like that to implement into children, you know, if you say stop, it means stop, and I will stop.
Right.
So I think teaching children ways like that, I mean, that is such great parenting I've seen, and
Exactly.
I thought, wow, this little kid will know the boundaries in life.
Right.
So even ways like that is so simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, like no means no. When I say no, it means no. Okay. Okay. So, which means that if I'm a young girl and I want to go to your dormitory or whatever, just because I go to your dormitory, that doesn't give you consent. That doesn't give you any consent
Exactly.
that you can touch me or can kiss me.
Exactly.
We just have a time, talk. You know, but a lot of young men don't understand that. Now, so where do you see yourself? Let's say I know you're 21. So where do you see yourself like a few years from like 5 years?
So 5 years from now, I
winning
would
Miss
definitely love to be an international title holder. I would love to take my projects to the next level. So I would love to get most of my projects implemented in different countries across the world. As well as that, I want to open my own business. You know, within the next 5 years, you know, I want to work for myself. I want to, you know, the priority for myself, you always have to love yourself before you can love anyone else. So if you've heard that before. So, you know, I just want to make sure that, you know, I'm stable, that in order when I'm helping people, I can make sure they're in a stable position as well. So definitely being able to take my projects to the next level would definitely be the ultimate goal for me, really. My dream job.
Well, describe.
Well, do you know what? Who wouldn't say a pageant queen is a dream job, right? Yeah. My dream job would definitely be. I've always wanted to be a judge, actually, in the courts. That's always been like something I've really wanted to do.
Well, you know what? That's gonna be a problem because you're a beautiful woman, and hardly anybody takes a beautiful woman seriously. Unless you purposely, like, you know, destroy your face or uglify yourself or whatever, then maybe grow a facial hair.
No, definitely. I mean, there has to be a level of respect that it's got to be the way you portray yourself. I think it's a very big thing in the way others treat you. You need to set the boundaries there because, you know, people will try their luck and they'll overstep the mark. But as long as you put yourself, look, this is the boundary, like I said earlier, then, you know, people will respect that.
Now, what has been your biggest failure? Because nobody's perfect, okay? Even beauty queens are not perfect. What has been your biggest failure, and what
I would
did you
say
do
that
to
my
overcome
biggest failure in life was, I don't know, it's a really hard one because I would say not being able to do enough at the moment. I know I'm only 21 years of age, but I have, you know, witnessed a lot and I've seen a lot throughout the world. And I always put myself down like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done this, I could have done this. But that's why I make up my new projects. You know, I've got a beach cleans that I always do, you know, making sure that I'm looking after the planet. With my preventative program, I'm making sure I'm looking after the people. And then just doing my other little projects, like branching out everything. I'm just trying to hit every sector to make sure, you know, that, you know, Steph, you are doing enough and you have, look what you've achieved already. So I would always say, yeah, not being able to do enough.
Right. You know what? I agree. Because there's nothing that one of the worst feelings that anyone can have is that not being able to take a chance. I mean, instead of focusing in the back, you're like, oh, I'm gonna fail. I don't want to make a mistake. No,
exactly.
Dude, just go ahead and do it. Just take a chance and do it. Because
agree.
a few years from now, you're gonna regret it if you didn't take any chance. You know what I mean? So you're 21. You're a millennial. Okay. So you belong to this generation of young people who been probably brought up surrounded with social media and a lot of less human interaction. And so what do you think is the biggest problem facing your generation today?
I definitely
besides
think,
the lack of human
England, the biggest problem for young people at the moment is actually lack of employment. Like, that is just totally the problem that we have here. I mean, young people, you know, we're creative, you know, we've got all these bright ideas and we're young and we're innovative and we want to share with people, but it's so hard for young people now to get into a job, especially with no experience. I mean, even like my family members, you know, they have no experience and they're trying to get into jobs and just no one will give you a chance. And I feel like you have to do something crazy or have a great CV to get into a job. But I definitely think as well, social media is something that is the biggest problem in my generation. I mean, people are glued to their phones, and you know, I can't say anything. Sometimes I am as well. But it's just the way that, you know, our generation has been raised. You know, we've got all this technology and, you know, we can connect with people across the world, which is so great. But at sometimes, you know, you need to sit down and think, look, you know, I've got a brilliant family around me. I've got my friends around me. Just put the phone down and go out and have fun. But, you know, it is a positive and it is a negative. It's just how you balance the two.
Have you ever been bullied?
I get comments
in real
all
life
the
or
time.
even online?
You know, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, like, I've always been the person to say, look, like, just delete it, and then it's gone out of my head as well. Like, I don't think about it. I don't really care. But in school, I was actually bullied by one of my boyfriends. He used to say that I looked like a guinea pig, which really annoyed me. I know, because I've got guinea pigs. I love guinea pigs. I have like 21 guinea pigs, so I don't care. But yeah, because of my two front teeth, they are a little bit larger than the rest. And that used to make me really insecure, but I've really gotten used to my smile, especially this year. I've started to love it more. I did want to change my teeth a couple years ago. And then I just thought, no, do you know what? Your smile, your teeth are healthy. Why are you wanting to change it? Exactly. So I just
why ruin it? Yeah.
Exactly.
It's part of your character. It's who you are. What gives your face that distinct feature, and eventually helps you stand out from the rest of the crowd. Because a lot of pageant girls these days, they all look alike. If you line them up on stage, they all have the same height, the same body type, the same makeup, the same hairstyle. You wonder, if I were to judge, boring. You know, where's the one that stands out? I'm gonna pick the one with a two.
I know what you mean. Definitely,
you know, she's the one. You know what I mean?
It gives people character. You know, them little imperfections, and especially if you can embrace them, it looks so much more beautiful than to change yourself. You know, I could have put veneers in my mouth and had a completely beautiful smile, but what's the point?
Exactly. Now, if you could have one superhuman power,
I would definitely say teleportation.
And why?
I love, like, if I could just go to like Indonesia or Thailand tomorrow, like just click of a fingers, I would, you know. And that's something I would love to do. And you don't need a passport.
And you don't need
and you don't need to go in the queues in the airport.
No more paperwork.
That's it.
No more vaccines.
I love to travel. I mean, when obviously COVID's not happening, I love to travel. I try and get away 6 to 7 times a year. You know, I just love to explore. I love to see what's happening across the world, different cultures and everything. I love it. So definitely I'd say teleportation, and especially with English traffic as well. I mean, click myself to my destination. I think I've visited about...
Now, how many countries have you visited?
I'd say about 12 countries. Yeah. But I've gone back to the same one.
That's not too bad.
I do really love them. I would
what is your favorite?
My favorite country is Brazil. I don't know why. Like, I love the country. Okay. It's beautiful. The people are so... My mother is Brazilian, yeah. I mean, I think it's probably just like a roots thing. Like, when I'm there, I feel at home and I really love it. However, the Philippines was also very amazing. I mean, it's quite similar to Brazil in terms of the people. Like, the people are so loving. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have enough chance to explore the Philippines after the pageant. So I would love to go back and do some island hopping and, you know, see what the Philippines really has to offer.
Mhm. I think what you should do is that you should
Yeah.
create your own
Hmm.
travel vlogging channel on YouTube. Go back to the Philippines because the Philippines has the
Yeah.
most number, I think, of social media fans. You know, and that's why a lot of
Hmm.
foreigners go to the country, and that's where they do all these vloggings, and instantly they get all
Yeah,
this wonderful, you know, Filipino followers and stuff, and that's how you make money. You know, you
I mean,
reach
the
out to that specific
Filipinos, like,
market, right?
when
The
you get there, and
Filipinos,
we used to
okay.
get off the buses, I mean, there
Now,
was thousands of them, and, you know, they'd say, Steph, and I'd be like, what? How do you know my name? Because in England, beauty pageants are not very big. Like, hardly anyone knows about them. If you say that, oh, I'm Miss Grand England, they say,
yeah.
oh, beauty pageants still happen, you know, but in the Philippines, they're like, you are the queen there, and it's amazing. The love and the support is so amazing, and I still to this day speak to a lot of my Filipino friends. I even have one of the designers out there making me a dress and making me outfits for the grand pageant, so it's really nice. I mean, they support you endlessly.
Now, do you have dual
I
citizenship?
don't know, I'm just
Do you also
fully
have
fully
Brazilian
British.
citizenship?
My mom is the Brazilian one.
Yeah. That was, yeah. Because I was wondering if you have Brazilian citizenship, you can compete in Miss Universe Brazil.
I know what you mean.
Right,
I
what
know
I
what you
mean?
mean. No, I
Because a lot of
don't. My
people are
mom has
doing
a
it.
Brazilian passport, but no, I have a British passport. So
Yeah. Oh well, c'est la vie. Now, okay, so you like pageants, but pageantry is not always good. There are also some bad elements in pageantry. Now, how do you deal, let's say, with the negative aspects of pageantry? Like critics, for example, what do you tell them when they ask you, "Oh, pageantry, you know, it's superficial. It's just for narcissistic, egotistic young women who want to look pretty on stage and want to be
no,
admired by people."
definitely
You know,
not.
are they right?
These
Are they
people
correct?
need to watch a pageant. I mean, when I talk to people that are like, "Oh my God, isn't that just girls in bikinis?" And I'm like, no, it's not girls in bikinis. You know, these girls are all like-minded. You know, they all serve a passion for their country and for their, you know, their projects. Like for me, I have 3 or 4 projects, you know, that looks at helping the earth and people. I mean, I don't think that's, you know, showing that I love myself. You know, I definitely give most of my time to other people. Um, that is, I think their view is definitely based on like the past where it was all about the bikinis and it was all about the beautiful girls, but pageants have turned into something beautiful, and I definitely think it's such an empowering thing for young women to do. You know, if we can love ourselves and show people, you know, look, I feel confident. If I want to wear a bikini, then I can, but if I don't want to, then I don't have to, you know. um and I think pageants are so good for people nowadays that everyone should try it once in their life, or even watch one just to see what they're actually like. I mean, there's definitely a big charity side to it as well. I mean, I know girls, they're raising money all the time for charities, you know, and including myself. So definitely that view that it's, you know, bikinis, hair and whatever, it's so not. It's so not.
Well, hopefully one of these days you will become a mother. Let's say you will have a daughter. Would you
Definitely,
encourage
definitely.
your daughter
It
to
definitely
also compete
builds
in
a lot of
pageants?
self-confidence. I mean, when I was 16 and hit my first stage, I was shaking. You know, I was so nervous. I was like, I don't think I can be up here. But, you know, I learned to public speak. And, you know, if you can use your voice to change at least one person's mind, or, you know, tell them to do something and they go home and do it, I mean, isn't that success to yourself, you know? Like, but yeah, I was so nervous, and I want my
Right.
child to feel
I
confident in
agree.
themselves. You know, like I can walk around London or Bournemouth now and be like, you know, I know who I am. I know where I want to be. And I do think that's down to beauty pageants. I mean, there's a big focus on the person themselves. So yeah, I would definitely encourage my daughter to do it. Definitely. Or son.
Why? Yeah. Why is I think I well in the olden days I think pageants were
Hmm.
quite popular in England, in all over Britain. But then again, it became less popular. Do you
I
know any
don't
reason
know. I don't
why
know
it
why.
became
I mean,
less
Miss
popular than
World is very
before?
big here in England. I mean, it was held here last year, and we had Peter Andre come, and you know, it is and it isn't a big thing in England. I think Miss World definitely is, but other pageant systems, you know, it's not so much heard of to a lot of the population here. It's, you know, they all know the standard ones: Miss Universe, Miss World, all that. But yeah, I don't know the reason why it's just not as big anymore. I think maybe people go on.
I'll tell you why.
That's
It's those
true.
damn feminists. They ruined everything.
Yeah, I guess
But
it
it
definitely
is
can
part
be
of it, though. It
seen.
is part of it. Because I remember, yeah, I remember all these feminists who were like burning their bras, protesting, protesting against the patriarchal movement, so forth. Because England's ruled by men, so therefore they make all the rules and stuff and everything. And if they want to have beauty pageants, then let them have beauty pageants because they love beautiful women anyway. But you have the hardcore leftist feminists who think that pageantry objectifies and sexualizes women. So what do you tell them?
Well, I just
What
tell them
what
that, you
do you
know,
tell
beauty
them to change
pageants
their
give
mind?
you a platform to surpass boundaries that you don't think that you can surpass yourself, you know? If if you can get up on a stage and talk to people about something you strongly believe in, I mean, how many people is that you're telling or educating at that time? You know, for me, education is definitely the most powerful tool we can use to change the
Right.
world. I mean, if you stand on TV or stand on a stage, you can say anything, you know, and that is people learning and they're gaining, you know, something from that experience. So people are so uneducated with beauty pageants, definitely. But oh, I've got my cat here. I have a little kit.
Oh, what a kitty cat! What
Um,
is that? Happy.
she always likes to be on the
Oh,
camera.
hey, kitty cat.
I
It's like
know. But
she's
yeah, no,
like
it's definitely
photobombing
just
you.
such an old opinion that needs to be changed. And I think it is changing. I mean, there's a lot of girls in the UK at the moment who are involved in beauty pageants. And I do see a lot on my feed of the girls, you know, they're putting their platforms out there and they're saying, look, this is not just a beauty pageant anymore. You know, this is something more. And people are starting to get it. You know, people are like, oh my God, I didn't realize beauty pageants are actually doing good.
Yeah.
And we're like, yes. Oh, God, the cat's fallen over.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because I think that's the whole problem with these critics is because they actually have not attended a beauty pageant
Mm-hmm.
or they have not really experienced how it's like to be trained as a beauty queen. So I challenge you feminists out there to maybe approach Stephanie, befriend her, and just have a discussion, a civil discussion, and eventually
I
you'll probably
agree.
end up
And
becoming a
especially
pageant
once
girl
you get
yourself.
into it, you can't stop.
You never know. Right? Exactly. When you said earlier, once you've been bitten by that pageant bug, there's no way to stop. You just continue on going. Which leads me to the next question, because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of girls join pageants as an addiction. They join pageants because they're called crown chasers. They're there just to chase crowns, and they just want to collect, if you will, as many crowns, trophies, or sashes as possible. Do you think that's wrong, or do you see any wrong
See, for
with that
me, I join
addiction or
pageants
with that
based on
habit?
purpose. So if you've seen the pageants that I've joined in the past, you know, I've done Miss Earth. It's an environmentally based pageant. It's definitely my ethos. I've joined Miss Grand. It's a violence-based pageant, and it's definitely in my ethos and in my past as well. I do think chasing a crown just because you want it and not, you know, comes down to a question: is do you want the crown or do you need it? You know? Yeah, and I
Good,
definitely
good
think
question. Yeah.
if the crown needs you, then that's a different story. But you shouldn't just do it because you want it and you want the fame of, oh look, I've got this crown now and I've got this crown now. You know, it should be because you have a passion for the cause of the pageant. You know.
Right. Right. But you know what? Some people will say, you know what, Steph, you don't need a crown to promote your cause. Why would you need a crown to promote your cause? I can be a regular person and just reach out to the hungry and to the less privileged people in the street.
I agree, but I've been doing it since I was 5. You know, all my work I have been doing since a very young age. And from my experience, that when you've got a pageant and you've got a platform, how many more people do you reach with that platform, you know? So yeah, like Zanny said in the comments, if not us, then who? And if not now, then when? Yeah, that's a quote that I used last year, and it's something that I always believe in. You know, if we don't change now, then when are we going to change? And if not us, who? So, you know, if you know, that's why I entered the pageants, because I'm saying, look, I'm here, I'm ready to change, I'm ready for this. You know, I've got my programs here and I want to implement them worldwide. So
now, so you're going to Miss Grand International. What are your expectations? Do you have any, like, do you expect to be treated differently?
No, no. You know, I had a great time in the Philippines with Miss Earth. I definitely had a great. I know.
Because both pageants are actually competing with each other.
I know.
For popularity and prestige. When you look at the pageant message boards, you see all these fans arguing and fighting each other. Oh no, Miss Grand is horrible. Oh no, Miss Grand International is horrible. So what a pretty girl like you do.
I know, and that's something that I've had to deal with going to Grand. I think a lot of the Miss Earth fans are a bit upset that I have gone to Grand. But you know, it was my choice. You know, if it's a cause that I believe in, then I promote it. You know, and it's my personal choice. And I think I've seen, you know, the rivalry with Miss Grand and Miss Earth. But you know, at the end of the day, it's just a different pageant with the same sort of values. You know, and
right.
Exactly.
And this is actually not
exactly.
about them.
I mean, you can't please everyone in life, and that's something, you know, you have to really, you know, see from a very young age, to be able to, you know, incorporate that into yourself and be like, okay, look, you can't please everyone, but you know what, if you're pleasing yourself and you're pleasing the other ones around you, then, you know, why not just do what makes you happy.
Right. Do you have any role models? Who is your role model?
I love
somebody, an ideal person that you
She
admire.
is my most favorite person in the world. Yeah, I would always say that she's quite like me. I've always said that I wanted to adopt my children when I'm older. I always have. I don't know why. I just like.
So you want to have your own little rainbow coalition?
I definitely want to. Yeah, I mean, I want to have my own children as well, but I do think it's definitely important to raise the awareness of adoption as well, because there are so many children out there without families. And when I was in the Philippines, I actually witnessed that firsthand. I went into an orphanage and I seen all these kids and I was like, wow, I can't believe that so many people don't have a family to go home to. And there was this one boy in particular that you'll see on my Instagram feed that he was like, I just wanted to take him home. I really did. They just really pull on your heartstrings. And Angelina Jolie is such, you know, she's a women's rights activist across the world. She's a beautiful speaker as well. And when she speaks, she's got this aura and you want to know more and more. So that's definitely why I love her. She's such a role model to me with the work she's done across the world as well.
This actually, it's a great comment from viewer Photographer Memories, who wrote, "Pageant world gives you vision and brings you into a beautiful person and passion to help others." That's very true. That's very true. Now let's capture this screenshot and send it to all these
definitely, yeah. So that's Clive who actually commented that. He is an amazing photographer. He's been doing all my recent pictures, if you've seen. Yeah, he's really great. He lives like an hour away from me, but he always comes down. He's always helping me out. He's so great.
Now, do you have any guilty pleasures?
Pizza.
Or guilty pleasure? No way! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Just like
whenever I want.
as long as you have a healthy balance, you know, I like to work out and I do make sure my diet's, you know, on point.
Yeah. How many,
I'd say
how many
times a
times
week.
a week
I'm
do you work
always,
out?
but
Do you hit the
I'm
gym?
like addicted to working out, and I always have been since I
Okay.
was younger. I just do home workouts in my own house, you know, even if it's 15 minutes a day, just something, you know, to get you going,
Okay.
you know, that you can drink more water and hydrate yourself. I just really love it, and it's so easy to do as well. And if you're seeing results, it becomes, you know, more addictive, and you're like, yeah, let's do it.
What
Yeah,
time
I'd say about 7
do you get
o'clock
up
in the
in the
morning.
morning? Really early?
I'm always,
Okay. No, do you
yeah,
work
I'll
out?
get up and
Do you
work
work
out
out immediately,
immediately,
or do you
and
wait
drink. I'll
until
have a whole bottle of
you do?
water before
Okay.
I start, work out, and then I'll go on to have a breakfast.
Okay.
So for
What
me, I love
describe it like a
eggs at the
typical
moment. That is
healthy
my
breakfast for you.
thing. And I always see better results because it doesn't bloat me. Like, I don't know what it is, but when I eat certain foods, it will really bloat me. And so that's what I'm trying to discover at the moment, what is good for me and what isn't. And eggs do not bloat me. Like, they keep me looking in good form all the time, and I don't have to worry when I go out. But yeah, I do that. I like to have smoothies sometimes, like it's like a strawberry and banana smoothie. Avocado is a favorite as well. Like, it's a must. I love it. And
Yeah.
I've just learned
It's
how to
amazing.
cut
One
it
of my favorite
properly.
fruits, avocado.
Yeah, I know.
It's great. It's great with toasted bread. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, you're making me hungry. Now, okay, so you work out like basically 5 times a week, and then share some of your beauty secrets. Like I see that you have beautiful skin. You know, English girls, English women, generally speaking, have the most beautiful uh, complexion. So I don't know, maybe it's the weather, or maybe what you guys eat or drink. But
So
what is your specific
I use like
beauty
rose
secret
oil.
or beauty,
Um,
routine?
so the national flower of England is actually a rose,
Okay.
and I always like to, you know, be a bit creative and be like, oh, you know, if that's our national flower, let's incorporate it into my beauty regime. So I use like rose oil to help around my eyes. So obviously when we're out shooting, or, you know, you've got a busy day and you're like, oh wow, I feel really tired, you just like, it gives you that little bit of glow as well. I would just say, like, I like to make sure that my face is
Right.
clean before I go to bed and when I wake up as well. That is so important, like, to make sure that you get all the makeup off if you are wearing any. Um, it stays so deep in your pores. And I mean, if you've seen
Right.
these new machines, they literally pull it out and you're like,
Yeah.
wow, you can't believe that that much dirt actually sits in your
Yeah.
skin. But I'd say definitely making sure that your skin is clean when you're, you know, back from home and you're going to relax. That is definitely an essential. I love the
Are you a
sun.
sun
I love the
worshiper?
sun, but
Do you like
unfortunately
sun?
in England we don't get much of that.
Okay.
Oh, in the, oh, in the Philippines we
Well,
do.
in
That
the
is
Philippines,
amazing over
you
there.
didn't get a lot of
But
sun.
yeah, we
Yeah.
don't. I mean, I actually just got back from Turkey about a month ago. I was over there for 1 week and it was so hot. And I got off the plane back to England, pouring with rain. And I was in my flip-flops, like walking through the puddles. God.
That's wonderful. Now, I want to play a game. Okay. There's
Mm-hmm.
this game. There's this game. It's called Would You Rather.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you like two choices,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and then you pick one, and then you tell us why. Okay. Would you rather have more time or
definitely,
have more
because,
money?
you know, if you've got more time, you've got more opportunities in life. You know, you can read a book, something different, you know, educate yourself, make sure that, you know, you're up to speed and you know what you're doing. More money is not everything. Like, I've seen people with so much money and their lives, you know, they're not happy, and it really doesn't buy you happiness. You know, a lot of the people that are the happiest are the people with no money, you know. So yeah, money is nothing. When you've got more time, you can share it with your loved ones. If you know, if I've got all the time in the world, I can watch all my generations of family grow up. How amazing would that be?
Yes. Okay. Well, obviously, you had a lot of time during the quarantine. did you learn anything, or did you develop certain new skills that you didn't
Definitely.
know exist
I mean,
during
what I like
the
to promote
lockdown?
during lockdown was, you know, new innovative ways that I could do stuff around the house that I would normally do, you know, while I'm out that I couldn't do. So, you know, I like to, you know, speak to the students that I normally teach at, you know, and be like, look, let's do this at home, or let's make eco bricks, or today, you know, we're learning how to switch off the lights, making sure that we're saving energy. Just learning things like that, you know, is something that you're not very conscious of. But when you're home all the time, you know, you sit there and you just procrastinate and you're like, oh, what could I do? What could I do? So yeah, I think a lot of the time I spent cleaning my house out, you know, making sure that you get rid of all the yeah, definitely get rid of all the clutter, you know, and you feel like more airy and more free, that you can just make your house what you want it to be. But yeah,
Yeah.
you know, you had so much time.
Great. Would you rather know all the world's languages, or
That's
be able
so
to speak
hard.
with all the animals?
That is so hard. But I would say that I feel like animals you can already speak to. Like, I know that's such a weird thing to say. Oh, so cute.
Speak to my dog. Speak to my dog.
Hi, beautiful.
Hi, Sam.
Yeah, I feel
Good
like you
luck.
can already speak to animals. Like, I speak to my dog all the time, and she knows what I'm saying, you know, and she's got like a brilliant personality that you're just like, oh my God, these animals are amazing. So I would definitely say that I would love to speak all the world languages, because on a level you can't, you know, there's so much you can do with your hands and like communicate with people. But yeah, but I don't feel like it's enough.
Body
Whereas
language.
like animals, you can, I just feel like you can connect with them better. Don't judge you. No, they don't care.
Yeah. And animals don't judge.
Yeah, they
right?
literally do.
Yeah. They love you unconditionally. Would you rather no one shows up to your wedding,
No one
or
shows
no
up
one
to my
shows up
wedding.
to your funeral?
Because I would like people
Why?
to show up to my funeral to sort of symbolize that, you know, these people want to remember me and celebrate the life that I lived, rather than, you know, marrying the person you love. I think definitely prefer that.
Okay, that's fine. Would you rather get stuck in an elevator, or get stuck on
Definitely a
ski
ski lift, because it's more scenic, you know. I've been stuck in an elevator before. My mum, she used to press all the buttons when we went in, and I remember one time she jumped and we got stuck, and we were stuck there for like 8 hours, and it's just 4 walls, you know, and you're just like, oh my God. But
Yeah, especially if you
yeah,
have an issue with
I have a
claustrophobia.
problem.
Like I have a little issue with claustrophobia. I mean, I can't.
Definitely
I
not.
can't see
Like,
myself
I
getting
have
stuck in
this
an elevator
dream,
for
like,
even a
and it's
minute.
always reoccurring,
You know?
that I'm like in this tunnel, and the tunnel's like getting smaller and smaller, and I really hate it. I won't go into small spaces anymore, just because I'm like paranoid by it.
Yeah. Would you rather go to dinner alone, or go to a concert alone?
Yeah, it is tough. I would
Tough
say
one,
that
eh?
I'd rather, I don't know, actually. That's really tough. I would probably say go to dinner alone. However, like, if you go to a concert alone, you know that you're not going to be like the only person there, because, you know, people around you are like, they're having a great time, they're dancing, you can dance with them, you can sort of vibe with everyone. Whereas if you're going to dinner, you are just like on your own, aren't you, really? Actually, I want to change my answer. I'd rather go to a concert alone.
Go to a concert alone?
Yeah,
So you'd rather
definitely.
be with
Surrounded by
people, even though
people, yeah.
you're by yourself. Okay. That's good. Would you rather get a brand new house, or
Definitely,
a brand
because,
new car?
you know, that's where you build your life from, you know, that's where you build your foundations from. Definitely, you know, that's something that you're going to and from, and it's your own personal space. Whereas like a car is just, you know, in 5 years' time, it's going to be out of fashion, you know, so what's the point? Exactly. Or a
Yeah,
new
so like,
phone.
it's just
Like
like a
in
computer,
5 years, the phone that you've
they
got now will just be rubbish and no one will really care about it. So what's the point in looking good for 1 year?
I, I totally agree. Would you rather go
Oh, see, I'm
skydiving or go
terrified of
bungee
heights,
jumping?
and I would just
Oh,
say
come on, take a risk.
skydiving definitely, because I feel like, you know, the parachute will help me go slowly onto the ground, whereas like bungee jumping, you're just literally launched into it. I mean, I've always wanted to do something like that for charity. It is just that I am
Right.
so scared to do it, which is holding me back. But one day I will just go, you know what, you know, let's just do it.
Hey, maybe when you go compete in Miss Grand International, they'll probably, invite
I
you to go
could,
bungee
yeah, and
jumping,
especially with the
and
girls
then you can
around
probably
me, like
conquer your
when
fear
you're with these
there.
girls from across the world, you feel the love and support, and they're there for you. So you're just like, if they're like, yeah, come on, we'll do it with you, I'll be like, right, okay, let's jump on in.
Last one. Would you rather go on vacation with friends or go
Oh,
on
that's
vacation
so
with
hard.
spouse?
um, I know. I would
Choose one.
say I haven't actually had a girls' holiday. I've actually never been on holiday with my friends, whereas I have been on holiday with my spouse. Well, not my spouse, but my partner. So I'd say let's do the friends' holiday. I'd prefer that just so I can, you know, experience it and see what it's like because, yeah, like I said, I've never done it before.
Okay. Now let's play another game. It's called Fast Talk. Okay. I will name two
Yeah.
objects, and you just choose whatever comes to
Okay.
your mind, whatever you like, without
Ice cream.
explanation. Just say the word. Ice cream or yogurt?
iPhone.
iPhone or Samsung?
Lights on.
Lights off or lights on?
Brush.
Comb or brush?
Right-handed.
Left-handed or right-handed?
Brown eyes.
Brown eyes or blue eyes?
Love.
Money or love?
Smooth
A
boyfriend.
hairy boyfriend or a smooth boyfriend? Okay.
Pink.
Your favorite color?
Rose.
Your favorite flower? Your
What, as
favorite
in like
holiday?
Christmas? Christmas. Definitely Christmas.
Yes, holiday. Christmas.
Caramel
Your
frappuccino.
favorite Starbucks drink? Your favorite
Reggaeton.
music? Your favorite part of your
That's so
body?
hard. My hair.
Well, hair can go. You can shave it, it'll grow again.
My lips
That
then.
doesn't count, girl. Choose another one. Your lips, okay? Your favorite makeup cosmetic
I've got
company or
so
product?
many. I'd say Arbonne. Like I love Arbonne at the moment.
Choose one.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're great.
Like,
they do
they don't
loads
test
of
on
like
animals, do they?
skincare products and health products.
Okay.
Like they're really good. They really cover a huge range.
Okay.
Carolina Herrera.
Your favorite perfume? Ooh.
Oh God,
Your
I don't really
favorite
watch like a lot of
actor?
movies to know who's acting. I don't even know the name of an actor. I can't really. I know.
Really? That's
Oh God.
interesting.
I'd
Okay,
say
your
Jodie.
favorite actress?
I'd say Jodie Whittaker because you know she is the
You
first
mentioned
female
her.
Doctor Who. You
Okay.
know, and she's like very empowering for other women. She's done a lot of work in Afghanistan for the children as well. So yeah, she's great. Thai
Your
food, pad
favorite
Thai is my
food?
favorite food.
Okay.
A
And
reggaeton,
your
yeah, reggaeton.
favorite music?
Or you want, yeah.
Reggaeton? Yeah. Reggaeton?
Very
Just
like You
Caribbean
can really
women.
dance to it,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're very snazzy, very fast. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Well, you're part Brazilian, so you must know samba, right? You like samba? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
And another game is called Yes or No. Okay.
yeah,
No makeup in public.
yeah,
Alcohol.
no.
Smoking.
I
Surgical
think that's a personal
enhancement.
choice, so yes, you know, if you want to do it, then yes. Yeah,
Long distance relationship.
yeah,
Online dating.
no,
One night stand.
no.
Nudity. I was waiting. Is she going to say yes or no? What if she poses for
No,
Playboy magazine and
no,
Playboy offered
money's
her
like
like $2
not
million?
important for me.
Would
Like,
she take it?
I feel like that is just not something that I really want to do, you know. I feel like a bikini is like, it's good, you know. We don't need to do any more. It's private, you know.
Wonderful. Yeah, exactly. Now, before we go, is there a message that you would like to
Yeah, so I would
transmit to
definitely like
all
to
your
say
fans
thank you
out
so
there?
much already
Let them
for
know.
all the amazing support that I have received. You know, your love and support is really what pushes us beauty queens to do more, to keep going, you know. And like I said, you know, my favorite quote that I always use is, if not now, then when? And if not us, then who? So I hope that sort of puts something in your mind to think, oh, you know, the time to change is now. Maybe rethink some little things in your life, and just make a positive difference out there, because it does really go a long way.
Well, thank you so much for granting us this opportunity to be able to chat with you live on Instagram. And I wish you the very best. Good luck. And if you don't win this crown, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
thank
know
you.
what's wrong with the world. To be honest, I mean, I'm sure the judges out there will be able to see this chat. I'm going to. It's being recorded as we speak, and I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel. So the rest of the world who did not able to see this interview will be able to see it later. So I wish you the best of luck, and we will talk again
Fingers crossed.
after you win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you very
Okay.
much for having me as well. You know, it's been really nice
You
to chat
will.
to you, and
Okay.
you know, like obviously all the fans engaging. It's been really nice to see. So, you know, I really thank you for the opportunity for me to come onto your page as well.
You're welcome,
Thank
and
you,
have a
and you with your
wonderful
dog.
evening with your cat.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.